Font size and type in Gmail. Accessibility and practice. Colorado Department of Labor and Employment.
We are now going to talk about font type and size. I have an email pulled up on my screen that has a variety of font types and sizes. I have my email zoomed in just a little bit to show the controls on my screen. First, I have a font called Comic Sans. And later on in my screen, I have a font called Sans Serif. I also have different sizes. For example, I have normal, small, and large in my email. Generally speaking, we want to use sans serif type fonts in our email and our documents, and at least normal size or larger. So in Gmail, we could use normal, large, or even huge, but we definitely want to stay away from using small. So let's talk about font size real quick. Sometimes I lean to large or huge font sizes if I'm sending emails to a larger audience, because then I know folks won't have to zoom in quite as much. So in my email, I know that I have font sizes starting with normal, which is fine, but then later on I have font sizes that are small. So I'm going to go ahead and select my font size that is small using my mouse, or I could also use my keyboard to do so. And then I'm going to go down to my font size selector, and either use my keyboard shortcuts Control-Shift-, or Control-Shift+. In this case, it's plus because I want to increase the size, or just select that menu, and I'm going to select normal size. I could also select large or huge, but because the rest of my text is normal, I'm going to make it consistent. Now later on in my email, I also have large text. And like I said, if I wanted to be consistent, I could select all of this text as well and make this normal sized. Now let's talk about font type. There are, generally speaking, lots of different fonts. In general, sans serif is the easiest font to read digitally because it removes the extra strokes and lines that crowd the digital space. Without all that clutter, we're able to look at the words instead of the extra items. While serif fonts have those extra feet, lines, or strokes, and they're very fun, don't get me wrong, I love using them for my home projects, we do want to make sure we use sans serif fonts in the professional setting. This is particularly important for individuals who might be dyslexic, might have ADHD, or just might have difficulty reading those difficult fonts. So for example, in my email, I have Comic Sans as my first font. So what I'm going to do is select my entire text that uses Comic Sans, and I'm going to go down to my font selector menu at the bottom of my screen. So now that I know I'm at Comic Sans, I'm actually either going to choose either sans serif, I could also use Trebuchet, or I could use Tahoma, but I'm going to go ahead and use sans serif. Wonderful. So now all my text is sans serif font, and it's in the normal size text, which is accessible.
Find more videos on our YouTube channel at CDLE_DLSS.